Welcome to LifePoint, a ministry focused on helping you find real life. Author and teacher of the gospel for over 30 years, Pastor Del offers hope by guiding you step by step to the abundant life that God has for you. Let's join Pastor Del now for LifePoint.
Welcome to LifePoint, your path to real life. This is Pastor Del Phillips. I'm your host for LifePoint, and I want to say thank you for taking time to join with us for today's program. We're going to go to our journal reading in just a moment. I want to remind you that we have been in a series dealing with the presence of God, or the word Emmanuel, which means God with us. So we've been talking about how God is with us. What it would even be like to consider the fact if God wasn't with us, what our world, our environment, our society would really look like if he were not present. And then also, some of us live as if God is not present, if he's not accountable, if he's not actually here among us. And we've wrestled with the fact that God is here even when we don't recognize that he is with us. And we've also looked at the fact that we are engaged in a conflict, in a war that would literally try to prevent us from embracing or experiencing the presence of God. We're coming now to our last lesson study that we're going to do on this particular subject, on looking at the emphasis on Emmanuel, of being interpreted God with us. So with that in mind, I want us to take a look at our journal reading for today. On every battlefield, there is a place of refuge, a place of refuge on every battlefield. The word refuge there is a reference to a place that you can go while you're in conflict, when you're facing a conflict that you cannot overcome. When you're facing an encounter, a challenge that you can't overcome on your own, but you can't get off the battlefield or get away from the conflict, but you need to have a place that you can retreat to, a place of refuge while you have to endure the overall experience of the battlefield conflict. We're going to talk about what that place of refuge really looks like, how we can take advantage of the place of refuge, even in the midst of our conflict, our storm, our trial, our tribulation. When we come back from this message, I'm going to ask you to join with us in our scripture lesson, and we'll continue in this study. God is present with us, even on the battlefield.
Many of us have spent years roaming down curious paths looking for our destiny. In our quest to satisfy our desire for happiness and our need for fulfillment, we have meandered down many different paths that it seems in times that we have lost our way. Now we are not sure of what we want. We don't quite know what would make us happy or content. We need help. We need directions. We need someone to point us to the single distinct path that leads to real life. This interactive DVD and workbook is designed to help you find the path that leads to real life. Order now so you can begin a new path and start getting the most out of life today. Workbook and interactive DVD are available online now for a ministry donation of $15 or more at www.lifepoint4.me. or write to us at LifePoint Ministries, P.O. Box 201334, Denver, Colorado 80220.
All right, so if you want to take advantage of that offering, you can hit us on the website, as you see on the bottom of your screen, www.lifepoint4.me. That's www.lifepoint4.me. So you can review our ministry menu for our DVD workbooks and interactive material, all combined, condensed into one piece of media. Now we have our archive of our material that's available for your selection, for you to look through right now, and we encourage you to take advantage of that. Also, for those who are wanting to connect with us, to share your donations as well as continuing your correspondence with us, you can check us out on the website as well. And I thank you in advance for those who are inquiring about what you can do to support, and for those that have already been sharing your support with us for LifePoint Ministries. We greatly appreciate it, and encourage you to hit the website, and you can click on the donate button and make your contribution available today. And don't forget to check us out on Facebook. For all of those who are internet savvy, go to the website, click on the Facebook icon on the bottom of the web page there, and you'll be able to connect with all the other folks all across the internet nation, if you will, who are sharing LifePoint experiences. And I want you to be a part of that LifePoint family online as well. All right, listen, we're going to the book of Psalms for our final scripture text on our subject, God being present with us. Psalm 46, verse 1. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. I want to point out three important words there: refuge, strength, and help. Refuge, strength, and help. God is our refuge, our strength, and help. The very present help, and I want you to put emphasis when? In the time of trouble. In life, we are all going to encounter at one time or another a battlefield. On the last program, we talked about the battlefield in our own mind that's inside of us, the conflict that we face when trying to do what we want to do or would do, and facing the evil opposition that is always hindering us. However, we discovered that in Jesus, we have the deliverance from that deadness, from that place that would destroy life, that would prevent us from coming into the presence of God. Jesus has delivered us from the body of that death. Because you do understand, if we are not in God's presence, we cannot experience the fullness of life. So evil, of course, wants to prevent you and I from having access to what? Access to life. All right, that's the conflict that faces us internally. That's the internal war. Now I want to look at the battlefield externally. We also are facing conflicts and encounters that want to hinder and to prevent us from moving forward in life. Once we have reconciled with the internal conflict, we yet have the external adversities and battles that we must face. That can be a list from anything concerning our finances to our physical health, to challenges in relationships, to just being able to live life peaceably. And as we begin this entire series, we took a quick snapshot at where we are as a nation, where we are as a church, where we are individually as a people. All of us are facing great challenges, perhaps more so now than many of us have faced in recent time. The battlefields are out there. You know, I wish we could sidestep the battlefield altogether, or even pick and choose the place of conflict. But unfortunately, the truth behind that is you don't get to choose. You don't, I know there's this saying, that, you need to choose your battles. And I guess, to a certain extent, when it comes to personal, encounters or personal conflicts that we might have among one another, we can pick and choose which ones we're going to turn into a big deal or not. But in life in general, you don't get to pick your battles. Your battles pick you. You might, wake up with every intention not to have any conflict today. But that war, that conflict, that external encounter or challenge will be brought to you. So we don't get to choose our battles. We don't get to sidestep having conflict in this life. When it occurs, when we discover that we are engaged in a major battle that wants to prevent you from moving life forward, sometimes that battle, that encounter can be overwhelming. I mean, we just have to be honest. As spiritual as we may appear to be, as spiritual as we may strive to be, we will find ourselves in certain battles where we just know I can't do anything. I have no strength left. I'm at my wit's end. I'm done. I can't do anything else. You feel overwhelmed, as if you cannot figure out. You can't see your way out. And it's those times we actually need a refuge. A refuge. A refuge is a place of safety that we can retreat to while on the battlefield, so that we can get out of the immediate harm's way, if you will, so we can escape engagement from the conflict, at least for the moment. A place of retreat, a place of safety. Now, here's what I like about refuge, about the refuge that we find on the battlefield. A refuge has to be built in advance. It has to be constructed in advance. Before the conflict begins, before you engage in the warfare, somebody has constructed this place of retreat, that if it gets too hot out there, if it gets too challenging out there, we have this place of retreat, the place where you can go and refuel, recover, allow yourself to be revived, to get you out of the immediate danger, the bullets that are flying, so to speak, to get you away from that, because this place is reserved as a retreat, a refuge. It's a place of safety, protection. So David says, God is our refuge. He's our refuge. The place we can run to is the place where God is, watch this, present. God, wherever He is present, He becomes our safe haven. So when we recognize that God is our refuge on the battlefield, He is the place, His presence is the place that we can run to, that we can separate ourselves from the immediate conflict that we might be facing. Let me put it this way. Sometimes we think we can only come into the presence of God when they have an assigned, scheduled, date for that at the local church. I can't really enter into praise and worship until, they have praise service on Wednesday night. Man, I wish they had something on Tuesdays, because at least this Tuesday, that's the time when I need God. Well, let me help you out. God does not require the assembly of an orchestra, of a praise team, of a dance ministry, or even of a church organization to schedule Him. We can come into the presence of God when we need Him. He is our refuge. David says, the chief musician of David. This psalm is written by one of David's chief musicians. And the chief musician says, hey, let me let you guys know something. God is our refuge, not the praise team, not the worship leader, not the song leader. God is our refuge. The place we need to run towards, the presence that we need to seek is not necessarily at your local church. The place you need to seek is the place where God is present. Yes, we have great encounters when we assemble ourselves together in our local church, in our local assembly. I have no problem with that. But I'm here to tell you that God is your refuge. It's not the church itself. It's not the praise leader or the pastor, for that matter. It's the presence of God that we are really seeking, that we are really in need of. And here's the teaching point. So if they don't have it scheduled at your church, guess what? You can still retreat into his presence. We need to learn that we still have access to him while we're on our battlefield, even if they don't have a special worship, praise, celebration scheduled for that particular time or day. God is our refuge, where we can run, where we can go, where we can retreat into his presence to separate us from the immediate moment of conflict. So sometimes in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week, I just get beside myself and find a corner in my little world where I can just worship him, where I can just honor his presence. Watch this. Man, I'm so amazed that wherever I'm in need, when I need him, he is present. Wow. He was already there. He's here. He's available. God is our refuge. Not only is he our refuge, but inside the refuge we have strength. I told you that the refuge is a place of where we can be restored, where we can recover, where we can be revitalized. He's our strength. That's the second word I told you to underline in that verse. God is our refuge and he's our strength. Refuge and strength. Inside of the presence of God, we can be stimulated, spiritually re-inspired. We find our strength, our strong points, our true strength, our true spiritual ability is within the refuge that we take in God, in his presence. In other words, I am weak, but when I'm in his presence, ooh, I like this, I'm strong. Man, I got to mess with that. See, naturally, by myself, on the battlefield of life, I'm weak and I'm also a target. You know, I'm vulnerable on the battlefield. When I'm relying on just my ability, I discover my greatest weaknesses. But when I retreat into the place of refuge, that's when I become strong. So watch this. Let the weak say, I am strong. Why? Because I can say, I'm with him. Okay, somebody missed me. You know, when you were in elementary school, and for those of you who either had a big brother, or some cases a big sister, or just a big friend, and you got into a little scuffle on the playground, that playground had become now a battlefield, and now you find yourself at odds with this person who you know can outduke you, who you know is bigger and stronger and greater than you are. And then all of a sudden, you can say, oh, you want to take me on? Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. And you call over big brother, call over big sister, or call over a big friend, and you say, well, I'm with him. Now let's see how this is going to come out. See, by myself, I'm a little weakling. But when I'm with him, the weak can say, I am strong. So here's the teaching point here. In the refuge, when we retreat into that place of safety, that safe haven in the presence of God, that's when our strength is renewed, where we can now be strong to face the opposition. Notice what I didn't say. Because we go into the place of refuge doesn't mean there's no longer a conflict. I told you, this refuge is on the battlefield. So it means I yet still have to go out and stand against my enemies, but I'm not standing by myself. God is with me. He's present. So we get our strength back when we come into the place of refuge. Then finally he says, not only is God our refuge, he's our strength, But I like this latter part. He's our help. No, it says he's our present help in the time of trouble. Present help. I like that. I like that. The emphasis. God is our present help when you need him. Notice this. Verse 1, Psalm 46, if you're just joining us. Watch this. A very present help. Where is the help? Oh, it's very present. When? In trouble. In the time of trouble, God is present. Not just present, he's present where we need him. He is very present in the time of trouble. His help is here now. When God is present, we have all the help that we are going to need. When God allows us to be drawn into the place of his refuge, we get our strength back, and we discover that all the help that we need, it's in him. Everything that we need to assist us in life. The word help implies the need for assistance, support, if you will. Everything that we need to assist us, we find in his presence. So I'm telling you, to be in the presence of God changes everything. To recognize that he is present. He's not absent. He is here. He is with us. He's chosen to live within us, to make his abode, his residence in us. So when we need him, he becomes a very present help. When? In trouble. In our time of trouble. So we have to reckon with the fact that trouble is present, but so is our help. Ooh, I like that. Trouble is present. And, I wish, just like anybody else, we could get rid of trouble. I wish we could, we could impeach trouble. I wish we could fire trouble. I wish we could terminate trouble, but we can't. Trouble is here. And can I just say in passing, because somebody said, well, I'm okay right now. Okay, well, if trouble is not here today, it's coming. So it's either here or it's on its way. Those are the only two options. There's no such thing as if, that trouble being gone, trouble, no longer existing. Trouble is either here or is on its way. Either one of those is a scenario that we don't gladly face. So trouble is present, but so is our help. All the assistance that we need is also present here. God is with us. That's our series. God is with us. Very present help. To put emphasis, to underscore, there's not a question about him being present. There's not a question of him leaving us, forsaking us while we are in trouble. He is very present. He makes himself known. I want to close with this. Sometimes we have to be called in, called to the place of refuge. I know some of you like me, you just stay out there on that battlefield till you just get beat up from one side and down the other side and, keep taking punches left and right. And sometimes God has to call us in to remind us, hey, I'm very present. What are you doing? Why are you trying to handle this by yourself? I'm here. Why aren't you relying on me? Come on in here and take advantage of your refuge. Find your safe haven in me. Allow yourself to be strengthened, to be restored, so that you can recognize that there is no little assistance here. I am very present. Great help is available. So can I encourage you? You don't have to keep, allowing life or the world to just beat you up and think that you don't have a place of refuge, a place of safety to get your strength back so you can recover, so you can heal, so that you can allow God's help to be made known and available to you. You have a refuge. On every battlefield, there is a place of refuge, including the battlefield that you are facing today. Let God be your refuge, your strength, and your help. Pray with me. Father God, we thank you because you have made yourself available to us. God, that you have not forsaken us, that you've made yourself present among us. We thank you for that. And God, I pray right now for those of us who are struggling, fighting for our life on the battlefield. God, I pray that you remind all of us that you are present. We do have a refuge, safe haven, where we can allow you to restore our strength. God, we thank you. In the name of Jesus, we do pray. Listen, if you're praying with me now, I want you to take advantage of making sure that you contact our prayer partners who are on the phones right now. 1-877-211-4538. As we bring this particular series to a close, you can order LP71 and ask when you call for the entire LifePoint series that deals with God is with us. I really believe God dropped this into my heart, into my spirit, because of what we are going through as a nation, as a church, and as individual believers today, right now. I believe this message is important for you. God bless you. I appreciate you continuing to tune in to the LifePoint broadcast. We'll see you on the next one as we start another life study series. This is Pastor Dale encouraging you to stay on the path that leads to real life.
Thank you for joining us today on LifePoint for this exciting new ministry that will help you move beyond the obstacles that prevent you from living real life. To receive a copy of today's message, we invite you to visit us on our website at lifepoint4.me. You can order your CD today for just $10 or DVD for just $15. A study guide for today's teaching is also available for a donation of any amount. And be sure to follow us on Facebook for excerpts of upcoming teachings and dynamic devotionals. LifePoint is brought to you by the prayers and generous support of viewers like you. So we invite you to partner with us by sending your tax-deductible contribution to LifePoint, P.O. Box 201-334, Denver, Colorado 80220. Until then, we'll see you next time as we continue on our journey to real life.